Hello and welcome. My name is Lorrayne Ham. This is Living Your Best Life, the channel for starseeds, lightworkers, beings of energy and frequency on the ascension path as we all grow, learn, and expand together. So today we're talking about med beds. What are they? How do we heal our bodies? And how do we prepare for this upcoming expansion of consciousness? So there's a lot of scuttlebutt out there. I'm hearing a lot of information, and my inner knowing is saying that we're getting really close to the release of med beds. Now, what are med beds? Med beds are technology gifted to us from off-world, extraterrestrial, star beings that will and have been used for millennia. They will be revealed to us. Now, the thing is these have been here actually being used for our dark military, secret space projects, yada, yada, since the 40s, at least that's what I understand. Now, we were gifted these technologies from these alien races, and our governments have been hiding them from us, meaning that there was no need for anyone to suffer the ill effects of disease. But you have to remember that the American Medical Association and the World Health Organizations came into being, and pharmaceutical companies were being brought out. And why would they want to stop that big cash cow if they could keep us sick and keep us paying through the nose? So that's the past, and we're moving into the future where med beds are brought out and we all get to access them. But here's the thing. Med beds that can and will heal our entire bodies, bring us back to the divine human blueprint. We will restructure our bodies, detoxify, heal anything, remove anything, block trauma should we choose. But it's not a process by which we are non-participatory, meaning we just lay down and everything's done to us and we go about our lives. And to some extent that there is going to be an aspect of that, but med beds are going to be there to cure chronic conditions. But the thing that caused the chronic condition, whatever that may be, we are going to have to take responsibility for, and we are going to have to heal it. So what that means is if we have a limb that's been removed, if we have heart disease or diabetes or any of these chronic degenerative illnesses, we are going to have to clean up what caused it, meaning we are going to have to clean up our thinking, and 90% of all dis-ease in the physical body has an emotional cause. So let that sink in. 95+% of all physical manifestations in the body have an emotional foundation. Now, this could be caused from an emotional trauma. Often, if we have trauma in very early years, our mind is brilliant at blocking these traumas, and we don't consciously know that it's happened, but our subconscious is working on it and stewing on it, and it becomes like a pebble in the shoe, and over time it can create a wound and cause degeneration in our body, and then we manifest illness. So our parts in this whole healing process, yes, these amazing, miraculous appearing technologies are coming. And from my inner guidance, we're going to be seeing them within the next 6 months coming out and available. But it's not going to be a rollout where they roll out and everybody has access and there's hundreds and thousands of them and everybody is running to get that done. In truth, there's a lot of people that have not shifted their perspective. They won't be ready for this. They won't even be able to hear that it's available. They'll be afraid of it. They won't understand it. Those of us that have been on the ascension path will understand this. But even many of those will be leery of it because it will be coming out from the appearance through our governments. And let's face it, over the last many years, we have lost trust in that ship. But these technologies that will bring us back to our divine human blueprint, that means that if we couldn't hear, we can hear. If we couldn't see, we can see again. If we couldn't breathe, we can breathe again. If we couldn't hike, we can hike again. Our bodies will be completely detoxed. Our bodies will be restored back to their divine perfection, as long as we want it to be. So nothing will be done to us without our consent. We will go to centers where we will be evaluated. The people most in need, those people that are, their sole contract is not that they are to be terminated off this planet, but they are to continue, but have conditions that are life-threatening, will have priority. We will all have the opportunity to be evaluated, and a quantum computing system, a higher consciousness, will be assessing our condition, where our state is, and will then assign a time frame of which we can do that. Now, here's our part in it. If we've been doing our work, we've been healing our emotional traumas, we've been taking care of our physical vessel, our temple, our access to this dimensional reality. If we are doing our best to take care of our bodies, more than likely those people will be higher up in the priority because their bodies will be easier to heal and we won't deteriorate our bodies on the other side. If you, let's say, for instance, if you're a diabetic and you eat things that cause your blood sugars to go spiking, which causes damage to the physical body, and you aren't addressing those hidden emotional issues that cause your addiction, then the likelihood of having your body healed and then on the other side changing your whole behavior pattern is, let's just say, not good. We have to become conscious. We have to move beyond our self-focused, self-driven, immediate gratification behaviors. And yes, the med beds can assist with addiction, meaning if your physical body is physically addicted and it's not an emotional cause, then they can help alleviate that. But if you're not addressing your deep, hidden emotional self, if you're not taking responsibility for your actions and the consequences thereof, the likelihood of you getting the opportunity to utilize a med bed in a high priority situation is not going to be very high, because there's a relearning, a restructuring. Not a single person on the planet today has lived in an environment of self-governance. We don't know how to govern ourselves, how to make appropriate choices for our self and our future self. We've lived under tyranny. We've lived under indulgence. We've lived under oppression. And we've had a lot of mind spin over the last, 50, 60 years of manipulating our psyche into overindulgence. So if we're not taking responsibility for ourselves, for our actions, for the physical manifestations of our body as a result of our choices, we need to do some work on ourselves first. And that's the kind of work that I do with people. I help you to find the cause. What is it that you are hiding within your psyche that is driving the behaviors that are destructive? So if we don't get to cause, or if our mind is conflicting, let's say that our emotional state says, yes, I really want to heal this. Or our logical thinking brain says, I really want to heal this. But our feeling side doesn't want to heal it, is afraid, is frightened, is scared. We're operating with a trauma that happened when you were very young. Then you're not going to heal it, no matter how much you try to will it. This is why often people that are trying to work through it and they have every intention to do it, but they find later on they trip themselves up. This is called double-mindedness. Your feeling self, your emotional self, your subconscious self is fighting your logical thinking mind. People will often say, I knew I shouldn't do this thing, but I couldn't help myself. This is the subconscious driving cause of the destructive behavior. So we need to get to that. And often we need to we need to actually go back to the time. We need to actually have the opportunity to, in a process, consciously put that person in front of us and say everything we needed to say. If another person was involved, or if we did something, we need to put ourselves in front of ourselves and speak out. This is called a speaking out process. It's a powerful process of healing. So in order to access the med beds, we are going to have to do some work to have access to them. There's going to be an assessment process where we are where it's determined where we fit into it and what needs to happen before we have access to that, which is brilliant, and it is fair and correct. And so the med beds will be taking our physical bodies to their ultimate perfection, and then it is up to us to change our behaviors and habits so that we are responsible for taking care of this beautiful, powerful vessel that we are. Our minds are so powerful, and as we heal our bodies and we no longer will have to focus on our physical, we will have the space and opportunity to expand our mind into new possibilities, new amazing ways of being as we advance in these times of the 5D expansion of consciousness. We are in exciting times, and I am hopeful that we all get to experience what is coming forth and that we learn what it feels like to be optimally functioning and moving. Think about it. If you've always wanted to hike mountains like I have, I was able to do that in my late teens. I worked for the Forest Service and worked on trails in the high Sierras, beautiful country, hiking 5-10 miles a day. Then I developed asthma in my early 20s and wasn't able to move 5 feet across my living room floor for a long time. I learned to heal myself quite a bit, but I'm still dealing with the consequences of not being able to breathe. And I am looking forward to being able to fully breathe, to get the oxygen in my body, to feel my muscles, to hike mountains and see the beauty of this earth and breathe that beautiful fresh air. So I hope that you can imagine what it would be like for you to be living in an optimal physical form and what that will free you up to do as we all move forward. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you have this positive, uplifted sense of excitement like I do. And until next time, my name is Lorrayne, and this is Living Your Best Life. Many blessings.